Do you ever feel like you don't actually deserve to be where you are? Like no matter how much you achieve, there's this voice in the back of your head whispering that you're not actually that good, that you just got lucky. That feeling is called imposter syndrome. And if you've ever felt like a fraud in your life, you're not alone. Hello, my name is Darcy, and this is a weekly downer. Today I want to talk about a topic that makes me feel quite uncomfortable. Imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is the belief that you're not as competent as others think you are, despite evidence of your success. It was first identified in 1978 by psychologists Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes, who studied high-achieving women and found that many of them felt like they didn't actually deserve their accomplishments. But over time, researchers realized this wasn't just a women issue. It's something that affects everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a student, an artist, a programmer, or even a CEO. Imposter syndrome makes you feel like you're just faking it, like you're one mistake away from being exposed. And the worst part, the more you achieve, the worse it can get. I remember the first time I really felt it. It was back when I applied for college. I wanted to go to design school. I wanted to be a graphic designer. But the thing is, I wasn't completely sure that I wanted to pursue this career. And for some reason, I got accepted. And when I got into school, when the classes started, I saw my classmates' work, and I thought mine wasn't as good. I thought I didn't have the talent. I thought there had been some kind of mistake, I guess, since I didn't actually have that talent and that passion for graphic design as some of my colleagues had. And I don't know, it just made me feel very insecure, and it made me feel very, well, like an imposter. Like I didn't belong in that class. But I just powered through, and I actually finished my degree in graphic design. And hard work pays off, because I see my work now and I know that it's way better than it was back when I started. And that's basically the message of this video. Like, if you keep pushing yourself, you're gonna prove yourself wrong. You're gonna be as good as, or even better than you thought you would ever be. And to be completely honest, that feeling hasn't quite gone away. And I know I'm not the only one who's felt that way. How many times have you looked at someone successful and thought, damn, they really have it all figured out, only to find out that they feel like a fraud too? Tom Hanks, David Bowie, even Albert Einstein, all of them openly talked about feeling like imposters and doubting themselves. If people of that level of success still feel like that, then what does that mean for the rest of us? But the real question is, if imposter syndrome is so common, then why do we feel so alone in it? I think a big part of this is comparison. Social media has us constantly looking at other people's highlight reels, while we sit in our behind the scenes footage, like we see the best part of other people's lives, while we are just sitting here with all of our effort and errors and all the behind the scenes stuff that we don't show to everyone else. We see someone's perfect art, their insane skill levels, their accomplishments, but we don't see their self-doubt, their failures, their late nights spent overthinking every little thing. So we assume they've got it all figured out, while we're just faking our way through this life. Another reason I think is that our brains just love to downplay our own success. When something goes right, we tell ourselves, oh, that was just luck, or anyone could have done that. But when we fail, that's when we convince ourselves, see, I knew I wasn't enough. We set impossible standards for ourselves and then feel like failures when we don't meet them. And even when we do meet them, we move the goalposts further, telling ourselves, okay, but that wasn't real success. So how do we stop feeling like we're just pretending to be good enough? First, I think we have to recognize that our thoughts are not facts. Just because you feel like a fraud doesn't mean you are one. Your brain lies to you sometimes, and imposter syndrome is one of those lies. So next time you catch yourself thinking that, Remind yourself that feelings aren't always a reality. The second thing I believe we have to do is reframe our mindsets. Instead of thinking, I don't know what I'm doing, try thinking, I'm still learning and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, nobody has it all figured out, not even the people you look up to. Growth is a process, not a finish line. Something else that I think could help is keeping track of your wins. When imposter syndrome hits, your brain will try to ignore all the times you've proven yourself. So maybe keeping a record, like a literal record, as in maybe a notebook where you write down all your achievements and compliments you received, maybe projects you're proud of. And maybe when you doubt yourself, you can look back at this list and remind yourself that you have earned all of these achievements. And it's taking effort and it's taking a lot of time. And it's basically reminding you that you have fought your way to all of these achievements. And I think something that would help everyone is talking about it. One of the biggest reasons imposter syndrome thrives is because we don't talk about it. The more we open up about this issue, the more we can realize that everyone deals with this, and that alone makes it easier to handle. I think that, like every other social problem, talking about it can make a difference, because when you're aware that this is something that happens, you can remind yourself that, because when you're aware of this problem, you can remind yourself that it's just your brain trying to sabotage you, and it's not actually a reality. The truth is, imposter syndrome never fully goes away. Even the most successful people in the world feel it, but the difference between them and the people who let it hold them back is that they didn't let it stop them. Feeling like an imposter doesn't mean you're a fraud. It means you care. It means you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. And if you keep showing up, you keep learning and keep growing, one day you're gonna look back and realize you weren't faking it. You were becoming that person. And one last thing before ending this episode, I just want to remind everyone that putting pressure on yourself is a good tool for improving, but we have to be a little bit more rational, because we often just are very critical of ourselves, and we're not compassionate enough to understand that we're just human beings after all. We're not supposed to be robots working 24/7 and pushing ourselves to the very limit of our capacity. So try to be more compassionate, understand that you're a person after all, and you have to love yourself and respect yourself. If you made it this far into the video, thanks for listening. And tell me, have you ever dealt with imposter syndrome before? Drop a comment down below and let me know how you've handled it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. My name is Darcy, and as always, take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.